This is Laura GB, and in this video we're going to build a Searchbox component. So here's the app that I want the Searchbox component for, and it's so that I can search for my Lego pieces. But after watching Shane Young's video, the link is down below, on component libraries, that's where I'm going to build this component so we can use it easily in multiple apps. So I'm going to go back to my Power Apps tab, and under apps there is a tab of component libraries. So I've already created a component library for my basic components, and so we're going to go and edit that library. So here we are in the library. It's already got one component, a Hello World one, which was my first one, and we're now going to add a new component. The first thing I'm going to do is rename it, and I'm going to call it Searchbox. Now literally it's just going to be a text box with a few extras. So my width is I'm going to put to be 400, and the height I'm going to be put to be 40. Okay, because the text box is going to fill it completely. So let's zoom in a bit. Right, I'm now going to go to insert, and we're going to insert a text input. So there that is. We now need to resize it so that it just fits that box. So we're going to change its positions over here on the right, make the X 0, make the Y 0. So the width, I'm going to make a calculation. So I'm going to click on the width there, and instead of that 560, we're going to put in parent.width. And for the height, we're going to do exactly the same thing and select parent.height. So there we are, it fills the whole thing. Now I have one bugbear with text boxes. I really don't like round corners. Not sure why, but I don't. So we're going to change that 5 to a 0. So there we are, we've got a nice crisp corners. So text box here, let's do some of the sensible things here. The default is going to be blank. The hint text I'm going to put in as search. Okay, so the next thing we want is our component needs to return something. Okay, so we're going to put in a new custom property, and I'm going to call it search term or search value. That will make more sense. Search value. Let's give it a space in the display name, no space in the name. So, and it's not going to be an input, it's going to be an output. Okay, and we're going to click create. So there we are, we've got our search value, it's an output property. I click on the name of it to bring the formula up to be here. So we're going to make it to be equal to the text input that we've got, which really should be renamed. So text input 1 dot text. Okay, so I'm actually just going to rename that because we're going to call that search input. Let's move my mouse cursor out of the way. There we go. So that's really simple. There's nothing clever about that. What we're going to now do is I want to add a little icon on the end that is going to be a little magnifying glass until you enter some text. And when you enter some text, it's going to change to a little cross. So we're going to insert an icon. And let's start off with it being the search one. Okay, so let's put this in the right position. So we're going to go to our X is, let's not worry about X for a moment. Let's worry about Y. Let's put it up there. The height, okay, let's change the height to be parent.height. Okay, and the width, I'm going to make use of the new self property. So self, so we want it to be square. So we want it to be the same as the height. Okay. Now, where it's going to sit on the X So we want it over on the right hand side. So let's go for parent dot width, and then you minus it in its own width. So minus self dot width. So there we are, it's tabbed in one. Okay, so there we are, that looks right. So that's given me my search icon, that's great, but I want it to change to a cross when there's text. So let's go and click on our icon again and pick icon property, and we are going to put in an if. So to put in the first line up there, we're going to put in an if, shift return to a new line, so it is blank. And then we're going to put in, we want to check if the text box is blank, and that is called search input dot text. So if that's blank, then we do want the search icon. Okay, we'll do a format text in a moment to tidy this up. Otherwise, we want an icon dot cancel, which will give us a cross. Close brackets. Let's do format text to make that pretty. Okay, so that allows that to work if there's things in there. If you want to test something inside a component library, I can go to a screen and I can insert a search box, and then press play, and there we are, we can put some text in there and see it becomes a cross. So let's go back into our components. So we now want that to actually do something if you click it. So when we click it, the action is going to be that we empty the search input box. So search input, reset search input. So that's what we want it to do. But there's no point in that actually working. I don't want a dark blue looking glass. I want that to be a nice pale grey and also not do anything, which you can do quite easily using display mode. So let's click on display mode, and this is going to use exactly the same logic as the icon did. So let's put in our if again. So if, and we're going to go for is blank. And again, this is the search input dot text. In that case, we will have it being, so if it's blank, we want the display mode to be disabled. Otherwise, edit, quick format text, tidy that up. Okay, so that we've got the two modes there. So let's just quickly go and look on our screen. And there we are, we've got that there. And if I take all the text out, there we go, it goes to a pale grey. So back into my components, I think that's too pale a grey. So in order to change a disabled colour for an icon, we go down to the disabled colour, or we pick off the selector here, and I'm just going to go for a darker grey. There we go, it kind of matches the text that's in there on the hint text. So that's all working. Okay, so I now need, we've got our reset done, we've got things there. One more thing on the component. Okay, so if somebody resets our component, what do we want it to do? So I'm going to click on the search box there, the name of my component, and in the properties up here, we have a on reset, what we want it to do. So in the command we're going to put into there is going to be reset our search input box. Okay, so we've put in our icon, we've got our custom property coming out that's got a value already. So now I'm going to go to File and I'm going to go to Save of my library and I'm going to publish. So now I'm going to go into my app that I was editing. Now to add a component from a library, if you watch Shane's video, you'll see it's in there. We're going to go to the Insert button, get more components down the bottom here. And there we are, basic components, Searchbox, import. There we go, that's added that to library components and there's a Searchbox. And let's drag and drop that into my app. Now there you are, it's called Searchbox 1. So let's make use of that inside my gallery. Let's add another filter in. The category ID, by the way, is just a filter to Lego plates. So we're going to put into here Searchbox 1.text. It's not .text, it's a .property, Laura. So it's .search value in, and my column is called part name, close bracket. So if I now come and press play, if we put into here 2 by 2, there you are, I get the 2 plates that are 2 by 2. So that was building a Searchbox component inside a component library. If you haven't already, please press subscribe. Take care now.